Who here could get excited about the idea of saving thousands of dollars in editorial fees? And how many of you like the idea of saving months of time in the structuring process of figuring out your book? And the last thing is, could you get excited about the idea of avoiding at least 2 panic spirals and a heavy dose of imposter syndrome during your writing process? So if that sounds good, you're in the right place. Hi, my name is Rose, founder of Voice to Page, and I dropped out of uni because they weren't teaching what I'm about to lay down for you in this masterclass. See, ever since AI started making threatening noises towards the writing industry, I knew that there was going to be this shifting point of what AI could do for me in the writing and structuring and editing process, and where humans would need to intervene. And as of November 2025, this is the up-to-date part. Before we dive into it, I'm just going to take a moment to say thank you for being here. You could be anywhere. You could be drinking. You could be out with friends. You could be at a different kind of work. But instead, you're here, investing in yourself, investing in education. And that tells me that you, like me, are invested in writing the best quality work that you can and utilizing the most up-to-date software in the process. So take a moment, pat yourself on the back, and thank yourself for investing in yourself. Now, I get a lot of backlash from purists who say that using AI is cheating humans out of work, and I disagree. I think that they're just salty because they're not staying ahead of the curve, not like you and I. And I get a lot of fearmongers that believe that, AI will steal your ideas, and I'm going to prove to you later why that's not true. AI will never be able to write my books, but it has saved me thousands of dollars and countless hours for 2 very good reasons. One is that it is a wizard at structuring, the sort of structuring that takes my brain months to achieve on its own. And number 2 is that its assessment tools make it a cutthroat developmental editor. It's where it saves you time, and this is where it saves you money. Now, I've compared editorial reports that I received from humans against editorial reports for the same piece of work that I've got through AI with my carefully worded prompts. And in essence, they were the same report. One was obviously written by a human. This human didn't go and use AI. And the AI report was, well, it was an AI language, but in essence, it came back with the same information. One cost me thousands of dollars and the other cost me an afternoon. Well, an afternoon plus years of experience figuring out how to create the exact prompts for this. And I suppose I also had to pay for the ChatGPT membership, but I have taken all of that legwork out for you, and that is what I am going to teach you. In my 7 steps to AI mastery for writing. Those 7 steps are: 1, how AI actually works. 2, common misconceptions. 3, how to build your own prompts. 5, kind of privacy prompts that you need when you are working with your intellectual property and AI. Number 6, how to use AI as your editor. Number 7, how to use AI for your mental health as a writer. And then we'll have a quick recap at the end. Now, during this process, we're going to touch on my branded system for writing books. It's not because I'm trying to upsell you, but there are certain aspects of these prompts that marry and that tie in with my writing system. So I do need to talk about it a little bit so that it makes sense for you. And if you're interested in knowing more, because you've bought this masterclass, you know what, I'll give you a free 15-minute discovery call. I'll put a calendar booking link somewhere in here where we could have a completely free 15-minute chat about questions that you have. Now, around about now, you're probably wondering where my authority to talk about all of this comes from. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. In 2020, my world fell to pieces, as did so many other people's. And I escaped the world by starting to write books. Now, there are two things that you need to know about me here. One is that I learn by doing. So instead of doing all of these courses and going to university and study writing before I put pen to page, I started writing. I churned out my first book in about 6 months. And then I send it to an editor, because the second thing that you need to know about me is that I don't like doing things badly. So when the editor came back with a very kindly worded report that essentially said in very nice, professional, encouraging terms, there was a lot about this that was kind of shit. I got into learning mode. I found books that worked on the aspect of craft that they said that I couldn't quite hit the mark on yet. I found YouTube tutorials. I love the internet because you can learn anything. You can become an expert on anything if you know where to look. So I did. In the next 5 years, I wrote 6 different fantasy books, and every time there was an aspect of craft I needed to work on, I found the tailored course that I needed to be doing to upskill on that. So when I started writing nonfiction books, I did exactly the same thing. I wanted to know why Atomic Habits and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and How to Win Friends and Influence People, I wanted to know why they worked. I wanted to know how to talk to an audience in a way that was going to shift their mind. And that's where my voice to page course content comes from. But then the second part of that is, how do you structure a book? How do you structure an idea? And that's where I learned to use AI. So I learned to model my books, model my information on the best, most successful, thought-leading books that I could find. And those structures are what I am going to give to you. So my authority comes from the fact that I became a professional author without buying into the study for years, come out into the industry on shaky legs, which is a cutthroat industry that's going to immediately try to cut you off at the knees. Now, I did actually go back to uni. I found the most prestigious writing course that I could, got into it, and 2 years later, they still hadn't taught me anything that I hadn't already taught myself. So I dropped out. And I found a business mentor, because although I can write books and I can coach, I still hadn't made the kind of money that I needed to from it. Now I'm here, I'm running a coaching business, and my fantasy books are going through a complete and total rebrand. And I'm teaching you what I know without any of the extra BS subjects that you have to go through at uni to get to the information that you actually need and want. So are you ready to learn exactly how to use the fastest developing software, save time, and to save money, and to cut your stress in half, and to know every step of the way that you're putting your effort in the right place? All right. But before we get started, let's put a few agreements in place so that you can get the most out of this masterclass. Agreement number 1. You see, a closed mind is a closed door. Nothing's coming through it and you're not going anywhere. So for the duration of this masterclass, can we agree to keep your mind open? And number 2, can we agree to put your phone down and put your distractions to the side so that you can get to the end of this having absorbed everything that you need from it and not need to rewatch it endless times to get that? Can we agree to be distraction free? And number 3, if you learn something through stress, it takes you about 400 repetitions. If you learn something through play, it takes about 10 to 20 repetitions before it goes straight into the long-term memory bank. So, if this masterclass is actually something that you want to know and to be able to utilize, can we agree to have fun? Yes, having fun looks like putting up your hand when I put up my hand. It means keeping your energy up when I bring my energy up. I'm here with you so that we can get the most out of this experience together. And with that, let's get started. 7 steps to AI mastery for writing.